Right behind me are potentially the biggest board games of 2025 by far. All right, Wolfpack, here's the thing. So me being the professional videographer that I am, I forgot to turn on my audio for this video, which is why there will not be an unboxing. However, I also had a B audio that died out too. So instead, we're just going to show you the games that have already been opened right behind me instead of opening them one by one. Now, I think it would be fun for you to play along to see how well you know me and this channel and your board game publishers. So I'm just gonna say the publisher, that we can see like how well you know their announcements or like their upcoming games. So I'll just say the name of the publisher, give you a quick second to guess which game it is, and then I'll show you which one it is. Okay, number 1, Chip Theory Games. Now, if you guessed Elder Scrolls along with the expansion Valenwood, which I didn't even know that they had an expansion for this already, given how much content there is in this game. So in Elder Scrolls, I actually did the product photos for this one, and it was super fun because I think it's one of my favorite product photos that I've done, since it was a very sleek, and I thought it was classy because it was just like a simple, well, it looked simple, but the lighting setup was very complex. And like you all know, like I love the color black, so like this was just a very fitting theme for a game like this, just sleek, elegant, classy, nice and black. And I really loved how the photo shoot turned out. I did have to learn the game a bit, obviously, to take pictures of it. I also did the demo with the character creation and everything, but I can't wait to actually dive into this campaign fully. The thing is, I don't want to dive into this one yet until I finish Oathsworn for sure. And I think hopefully within the next month or so, I can make some progress on that one and then finally come out with like a full-on, this is the ultimate comprehensive Oathsworn review, knowing that I've played the entire game. I'm just debating whether or not to make it a spoiler version or a non-spoiler version. If you have any thoughts of like what you want to see in the Oathsworn like full video, let me know, because I think I'm kind of leaning towards no spoilers. That way it's just available for everyone. And at the same time, I've done like so much talk about it with the non-spoilers, so like I kind of want to just at least show more chapters so I can tell you all about the bosses in like 6, 7 and so forth, because it's crazy. Anyways, first game of the year is this super heavy one. No, not of the year, but like first of the big heavy games that I wanted to talk about today. Okay, so that was one. I will say the one I'm most excited about right there in front of you, which I'll show at the very end. Next one, let's go with Brotherwise Games. This is a Kickstarter that just delivered. You know what it is? Super Boss Monster. Now, I loved the OG Boss Monster. One of my favorite things about this box cover is that it looks just like a old school NES Super Nintendo cartridge, and I really, really love how the retro art came out for this one. And this is actually, so we do have 2 copies of this. So huge thank you to Jillian over from Brotherwise Games. Reason why is because I'm actually going to be filming a commercial for this, and it's going to be like the concept for it. It's going to be totally different, and I know I say that all the time, but it's like what I crave for in creativity, which is making each commercial different. But this one like is going to be so unique, and I can't wait to show you more about this. So stay tuned to the daily vlogs, which is what you're watching now, when you want to see some behind the scenes for this one when we film this out in LA. This is going to be a crazy commercial. This is like my most excited project for the summer, and it's going to be a wild ride. All right, number 3. I don't know if I can show the box. I mean, I think it's public info to just show the box cover, but just to avoid me getting in trouble for anything, I'm just not going to show it and just tell you what it is, since that right there is at least public knowledge. So game number 3 is by Stonemaier Games. Vantage. If you guessed Vantage, you are correct. So I will be covering Vantage, and I've been following this one very closely because it's one, like it's a heavier game, but what's interesting and what really like captivated me about it was the amount of cards and the amount of choices that you have in this one. My biggest fear, dead honest, is that I really hope that Vantage is nothing like Earthborn Rangers, because for me, I was so disappointed about the game. Like I wanted to do a whole video on it and review it and everything, but I just could not get I filmed it and I'm like, there is nothing positive that is coming from this video. Like not to like change out my biases or whatever for reviews. It's just that it just wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for me to talk about. It wasn't fun for me to edit. And I'm like, I quit editing halfway through because I'm like, this is not fun. It's not fun for me to just bag on a game for 20 to 30 minutes. So that's why that video never came out, because it sucked to make and it sucked to review and it just sucked to play. Ooh, my true feelings came out over here. So that's one thing I really hope Vantage is not going to be like. But I have high hopes for this one, and I think Jamie Stegmaier spent like so many years designing this, and like knowing Stonemaier and being a huge fan of Stonemaier even before I was a content creator, I know that they're going to come out with a quality game. So I have faith in this one, and I really hope that it's going to be a good one. All right, I got 3 more games for you. Next one is by IV Studio. Not just that though, it is their next upcoming game as of the time of this recording. So around summer, a summer release for IV Studio. If you guessed Realm of Reckoning, you are correct. Now, Realm of Reckoning, the reason why I am so excited about this huge title is that it is IV Studios, but then I'm trying to give it a possessive, so it's IV Studios. But then if the game company is Studios, then is it Studios? Forgive my tangent. Their new game is called Realm of Reckoning, and it's going to be a much heavier game than their past titles, and that's the reason why I'm the most excited about this one so far, because look at this artwork. It's all gritty and medieval / fantasy-like, I think more fantasy-like. I love it because it's so different from what their titles have been before, but I know that they're gonna have crazy quality components in here. And one of my favorite things about them is that, like, this is a prototype. It boggles my mind. They have the best prototypes ever. And why that's so important for coverage is that it makes life so much easier when you're filming games like this, because you don't have to, go through a Word document rulebook that was written by hand or something, and like things have been clearly defined, and the organization for putting things together makes filming so much faster and more efficient overall. So I really appreciate that companies like Stonemaier and IV Studio does things like that. It makes things very, very nice for us to cover. This thing also came with some other cards here, and some more cards, and also this kind of like matte sticker that maybe will be pasted onto some components in the game. So overall, I will be doing a preview with this with Bonds, of course, as always, and we also will need a 3rd player. So I will be doing that very, very soon. Okay, now how are all of your guesses so far? Are you getting them right? Go ahead and comment down below as you go. Now, next one is also from IV Studio, but a much older release that has been also delivered to Kickstarter from Kickstarter recently, because they remade it and added in some new stuff. Also IV Studio, if I didn't mention that already, this next one if you guessed Veiled Fate, you are spot on correct. This is the game that I wanted to play the most from their catalog before they announced their new titles and everything. Like their older catalog, aside from their new games, of course. And this is, I think it is the Metal Edition with the giant city board. Great, this game's gonna go crazy. And the reason why I was really interested in this one was because it plays at 7 or up to 7 players. And then also, having played Scales of Fate now, which is like in reverse order chronologically, but having played Scales of Fate, I really love that one. So if Veiled Fate, which Scales of Fate originally stemmed from, like if they share the same DNA in that, then I'm gonna really love this game. So that right there is number 5, and I have one more to show you, right? Okay, now here is the final unboxing for today, and you're all gonna know this one. I know for sure you're gonna get this one as soon as I say the publisher. Ludus Magnus Studios. Wait a minute, this triangular box, I recognize this. Oh, this diamond shape. Hold on, there's a black rose right in the center of the box like that. But wait, this is not Rebirth. This is Black Rose Wars Revised, the 2nd edition. All right, y'all. We're gonna end with this one because this game's gonna go freaking crazy. Now, a lot of you have talked about Black Rose Wars on my channel ever since I dropped that Rebirth video, and obviously I am so excited for this one because I absolutely love this game. The spell sling is second to none. I feel like if this game came out when I was much younger. Not that I wouldn't be more obsessed than I am with it now, but it's like, I think I would have spent hundreds and hundreds of more hours playing this with my cousins back when people had free time. But either way, I know some of you have mentioned like how this game works, and I'm going to go off of that because in Rebirth, you are rebuilding the broken lodge. But then since Black Rose Wars came out first, in this one, you are breaking down the lodge, which is totally opposite to what's happening in Rebirth. Now, I know that the game can share a lot of the same components, and my biggest ask for this game, which I'm going to find out very soon, is that I hope the rulebook is much more streamlined than it was before. If Black Rose Wars does that, I'm telling you now, this game is going to skyrocket more than it ever has, because the biggest pitfall to Black Rose Wars before was that the rules weren't that great. And I usually will just skip the game or avoid it entirely if the rules suck. Now, the rules don't suck, it's just that there are a lot of edge cases, and especially for a game where it's all about creating edge cases, to be honest, because you have so many different spells to choose from, and you're mixing and matching all these niches and nuances together. So it's bound to create a lot of questions. If this rulebook in the revised edition answers those questions properly, this game is going to do so freaking well. I mean, I know it already is because the game itself was amazing. I'm excited to have this one within the next week or two from filming this video. And I know you're watching the daily vlog now, so again, huge thank you for all of you who have stood by me and watched these really, really boring rants. But the cinematography has come back for this big review here, actually for all these games sometime soon. But Black Rose Wars will probably be the most immediate one. So yeah, probably the most upcoming one will be Black Rose Wars, the revised edition. That will be a full-on cinematic review, as you have come to know about this channel. And then we will have a preview, a 3-player preview / gameplay-ish video of Realm of Reckoning. Gonna have that commercial done for Super Boss Monster. Elder Scrolls will probably be the one way down the line, because again, I don't even want to tackle that until I finish Oathsworn. So it'll be some time before I cover that one. And then in between those, I think Vantage will actually be my second video after Black Rose Wars in terms of deadlines. And then last but not least, Veiled Fate is definitely one that I'm doing for fun. So in like a rough tentative order, it'll be Black Rose Wars, followed by Vantage and Realm of Reckoning, and then Super Boss Monster, Veiled Fate, and Elder Scrolls way down there. So with that said, if you made it to the very end, go ahead and let me know which one of these games you are the most excited for me to cover. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And yeah, I mean, these are huge titles. Like, tell me what you're excited about. Did I miss a game that isn't here? It's kind of crazy that all these games arrived at the same time. So with that said, I am beyond excited and hyped for the lineup this year. It's gonna be so crazy, and I want to play this right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all tomorrow.